Hey everybody, this is Glidercat, and it's time to play. We're back in Captain of Industry, and man, have I played a lot since the last episode. This game's really hooked me in, and it's hurting my channel because I'm not recording episodes. I'm too busy playing. But let me catch up on what has been done. A lot has been done. Obviously, we're filling more of the ocean with our mostly rock here, and there's some slag as well that's being used to create this huge extension of our island. We've got that going on both sides a little bit. We've got a new cargo depot here. It's the upgraded one with 4 compartments to it, or 4 things. I've got 2 of those set up for loose storage. This would be, right now it's set to sulfur. I don't know if we can change that. I think that's the only thing I've got right now that I can actually bring in, so they're not giving me a choice. So I've got 2 set up for sulfur, and I've got 2 set up for wood. Where is that material coming from? If we go to the map, we've got a sulfur mine here, kind of, I'll put it towards the center of the screen, that we unlocked a while ago. And I put miners on this, and they have filled up the storage. We don't need any more right now, so I've got that paused. That's where the sulfur's coming from. That just took discovery and I guess repairing it, and then it's good to go. And harvest it just like the oil. And then the other is the wood. We saw this a long time ago. This has been repaired, and I've got this. Their inventory is full, so this is paused as well. But we've got infinite wood here as well. Pretty darn nice. But we don't need it, so we don't need it just yet. So I just have it sitting with a full inventory. We can send the ship out to get that stuff. And the way this works, this cargo ship will go out and fetch quantities of both, bring them back, and unload them. So what am I doing with this stuff? The sulfur, got a little bit of storage room actually for it. Oh, I guess, let's see. We could actually staff up these modules and have them dump that sulfur into my storage. Pretty cool animation here for unloading the ship. Dumping the sulfur in. That's really sweet. I really like that quite a bit. This guy will unload into storage, and then that allows them to take some off the ship, because I've got a bunch sitting on the ship that I just don't need that much sulfur actually. We can have this guy to unload. I've got plenty of workers right now. We're really in the clear on just about everything, as you'll see here soon. See, these guys just about full. Not yet. I guess I can just let that run. We'll come back to it. So sulfur I'm using to create acid, and that's, I got 2 mixers here doing that. They take sulfur and water, fresh water, and they kick out acid. I've got the acid going into some storage tanks here. Right now I'm just filling them back up. They're just about full. And then I'm using this acid. I'll show you. This is piped. You don't need to see the exact pipe, I suppose, but there's a pipe that runs through all the way up. All the way up. That's one pipe. You can see it highlighted. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzags. I'll back up so you kind of get a feel for where this thing's going. Way on up through pipe spaghetti and into our new copper processing factory. So there's some remnants of the old copper processing factory over here. That is no longer in use, and we can start, or try to finish, getting rid of some of these old buildings. This one's still got a couple things of coal in it, so I don't think it'll let me delete it. Let me try double clicking or something. Yeah, I don't think it's going to throw it away until they get rid of that coal. I can get rid of this. Anyway, that's the remnants of the old copper smelting factory, along with where we did the maintenance. Remember, we had a couple maintenance buildings over here. That's all been replaced. Here is the new setup. I got copper being belted in from this loose storage. And I could probably get that a little closer to the mine. Here's our copper mine back here. So I'm belting the ore in over a pipe that I no longer need. So maybe I can maybe I can fix that belt. We'll see. That comes in, and then it kind of does a little squirrely loop back and down into the smelter. Same thing on this side, somewhat symmetrical. There's the copper going in. Copper ore, I should say. And then our coal ore is taking from the same conveyor that feeds all of our iron works, iron and steel. That conveyor kind of wiggles through here. You can straighten these out or something later. Once we get more land, we could kind of decompress this factory a little bit. We'll see. But that belt of coal just comes on through, wiggles its way around the factory. And then this guy just stays low to the ground and feeds in both of our blast furnaces. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. We've seen it probably a million times. Why is this one not firing? Missing something. What are you missing? Oh, I got a bad belt here. And not hooked up. Let's reverse the direction. That one looks like it's not hooked up. Let's fix it while I'm here. Did not notice that. That coal's not working. I've been using or making heavy use of the quick remove feature. We've got more Unity than we know what to do with at this point. This guy may actually beat me to it. Is that going to be disassembled? Did he just take parts? He took the rubber. There's still a construction part. I've just been using this quick remove quite a bit because we've got so much Unity. Interesting how I put the dirt texture back. All right, let's replace this conveyor real quick. U-shaped conveyor. Doesn't have to be high speed. Boom. And then I've also been using a couple things. See how it's got the pause on the hammer? I'm in the planning mode. It doesn't show it, but I was in the planning mode. And that causes everything you place to be just paused so you can experiment and build a bunch of stuff. And then when you want to set it loose, you can use the pause tool here at the bottom left. Click that. Right click and drag to unpause. And now that'll be built. And then actually I'm going to use this quick deliver feature too, and that will automatically get it built with resources that we've already got on the island. Hopefully that will work. And shoot some, yeah, there it goes. So yeah, you're familiar with this. Blast furnaces into casting machines. We get the impure copper, and then we did this before too. We went through copper electrolysis, but we did the recipe that just used water and took a little bit of time, and it got us 13 pure copper for the 16 impure. By using acid instead of water, we get 16, 1-for-1, impure copper to copper plates. So over time, that's going to save us quite a bit of copper ore. Do we need to save copper ore? Probably on this map. Probably not. We've got just gobs and gobs and gobs of copper ore. But it is used for maintenance, and maintenance is perpetual. So as long as we have trucks moving on the island, we're going to be consuming copper and iron for that matter. So in that sense, I guess it is worth, trying to conserve it. So that's what's going on over here with this dock. And then we've got 2 modules set up to bring wood in. Looks like these guys are empty too. I could unpause these. Let's pause these back. They're done doing what they can do at this point. Unpause these. These guys can unload wood into storage. We can make use of that. We could actually send this ship out and get more wood. Because wood is now infinite, I'm actually more interested in clearing out all of the trees that we've got. We might as well make use of the wood here on the island. And then, in theory, only in theory, probably not in real life, we could flatten this entire island out. And if we get the trees off early, then we don't have to waste them. I don't know what happens if you mine underneath the trees. If they fall down or what happens with them. Who knows? So that's what's going on with the new cargo depot. Like I said, we've got that guy just sitting resting. Our oil ship is currently staffed to go fetch crude oil, and I've got workers on each of our 3 oil rigs that we've got. I just have 1 shift working. We have more oil and more diesel fuel than we know what to do with at this point. We've got almost 4,100 diesel in our storage array here. And there's a few other tanks on the island, but this is the main setup for diesel storage. And then this is our main storage for crude oil. And then we've got a bunch of crude oil stored in here, actually. Each one of these modules stores 360 units. And then I've got tanks behind them storing another 180 units each. And so we're loaded. But I just have this running because I've got I have more workers than I really know what to do with at this point. All right. What else can we cover? Terraforming. There's, or filling, yeah, terraforming, basically. We've got the same setup here with trucks taking the rock that's being mined from the hillsides and dumping it out. I need to extend this. They're making longer trips than they need to. It's on the list of things I got to get to. There's plenty. But there's a new line here, and this guy doesn't have much to show, but this one is bringing slag from all of our blast furnaces way out here. Coming down the same group of belts, but it's bringing slag down to the coast so that it can be dumped as well. And it just so happens that since it's located over here, the slag seems to be being dumped over kind of on this side mostly. If we look at the designations for fill, that's the plan. Fill this thing out, and then we'll maybe start circling the island here at some point. That's that. I can show you where the slag comes in. It's just it's an upgraded belt. It took a lot of resources to build, so it's a little bit faster than the default one. But you can see it just runs in parallel. Once we clear off more of this mountain and we start working our way off to the left here, we can kind of maybe straighten these out and make this look a little more uniform. I had to kind of try and leave room so that excavators could get in through here because they can't crawl underneath any belt or pipe. And if we look at the ramps, these things are pretty bulky, and they only take they only hold, they only allow 3 things to go through. So I'm not super crazy about having these ramps all over the place. I guess we'll see as we grow what we do. Maybe I'll be able to make better use of these. Right now, they're kind of, I'm not super happy with them. They seem kind of ugly and messy. Like this one, I had to weave the pipes around just because I didn't plan for this ramp or whatever when I was routing the pipes. It didn't exist or whatever, so these are all twisted up a little bit. Anyway, they serve a purpose. But yeah, oh, here's the slag, by the way. Here's the routing for the slag. These kind of conveyors here are pulling it out of the blast furnaces. And then even our copper has a path. Where is that? Right through here. So here comes the slag. Kind of hops over blast furnace. Through here, underneath a ramp, which I don't think excavators are going to come through here anyway. There's no reason for them to come through on this side. But then it just joins up with our slag belt here. Not compressed. This part down here is not upgraded. We could if we wanted to. We don't really need to yet. But it does get upgraded a little further downstream. Like this guy here is an upgraded belt because it's downstream of all the rest of these blast furnaces. So that's what's going down, or what's going on here at the coast. We talked about the acid production. In fact, that's backed up. I can turn this guy off, save some workers. Turn these guys off, get my workers back. All right, up along the side here, the left side, just more chewing away the mountain. We've got, where is he? Got one big excavator. But yeah, I've got 3 working over here. We can look at the mining designation if we want. We're kind of trying to make it a little bit wider so we can get trucks through here easier. And just get more room. So, and then we've got the iron mine. Can't do too much here because we need to consume this product. But we've got a couple excavators working. Probably need more trucking. I'm not doing a lot of building right now, so there's not that many parts and things being made outside of maintenance. That's why these guys are kind of sitting idle. Could reassign them to excavating more rock. We'll probably do that. In fact, I've got a mine here. It looks like people are complaining there's nothing for them to work on. That designation is way over here. This is a good timing. Let me show you what's going on over here. I'm going to go ahead and change the area. On this, we'll make it a little bit bigger. And then let's start chewing away more of this land. There's no reason to leave this here. Let's just level this off. flat mining designation. And we can just take all this. And why don't you take all of this too? I think I want level 1 all the way through. Boom. That should put those guys back to work. Now I'm running a little experiment over here on this kind of excavation project. You can see where we just mined down to level 2. Like all of our factory is sitting at ground level 2. If I take the designation, you can see the little 2 there. I'm not sure why that doesn't rotate. Oh, I guess because it's set to flat. Everything's level 2. So that's what I was mining down to. But once we start mining over rock, you know, this is what we get. It's kind of just a mess. I mean, it's just rock, right? I mean, it's not a mess, but it's just rock. And if we ever want to put farms down, they are not going to let us put farms down on that material, right? And it kind of looks kind of ugly, right? I mean, if we look over at the coast, this doesn't look great. Just having all this rock out here, it would look nicer if it was all kind of green and grassy. So I'm doing a little experiment over here. I'm digging down to, you just saw me do the designation. I'm digging down to a +1 over sea level, I guess. But then I'm backfilling to level 2 with just the dirt. So I've got fill designations here. This is all fill. I think it's this little plot here. This is all set to level out and fill this area in up to level 2, right? And then in order to get that fill as dirt, you can see all the dirt that's been filled in here. This used to be not grassy, and I think grass will grow on this over time. I'm pretty sure it will. We'll see. But in order to get that to be just dirt in the mine control tower here, if we bring that to the center here and we look at what can be dumped here, you just pick dirt as the only thing that can be dumped. I think by default they might have stone and slag or something. But I set it to just dirt, so all that can dump in any designation within the area controlled by this mine control tower has to be dirt. So we've got the fill designation here. That's where they're going to put the dirt. And they'll get some a little bit, you know, as they mine this stuff, they're going to get a mix of dirt. In fact, we can watch these trucks will probably dump right over here, right nearby. Oh, he's waiting to get filled up some more. But we were sending dirt all the way down to the coast because I don't have... let's watch these trucks real quick. They should hop over this way and just dump. And that's going to get us land I believe we can put a farm on. Let's just, yeah, see, I think that's going to accept a farm if we do that. We'll see. I'm colorblind, but that looks kind of green to me, like light green. I think it's going to be fine. Anyway, so that's the experiment that's going on here. Maybe we will convert more of this to green and eventually get farms over here. But I was saying that for the dirt also, the side benefit is I don't have a belt that takes dirt down to the coast. All I've got is a belt here that's taking, well, that's copper. Where's my rock? Way over here. I think it's this guy. I probably need to make this, put this closer too. But this is where they're dumping dirt, rock into loose storage, and then it belts its way all the way down. All the way down. All the way down to this guy. And then I've got 4 trucks assigned to just keep this thing as empty as they can. Looks like they might be, well, they're keeping up. These belts aren't backed up. Even though the loose storage is full right now, they're keeping up. And then I think they're able to refuel at this tank here. I put a tank of diesel and I put a refueling station. I don't even have any trucks. I suppose I could assign one. I don't know if I need to. I think this is just for the excavators. But I have this tank. I think they save some time and refill here. I think I've seen the trucks themselves refill there rather than driving way over here or something. So that's what's going on over in this area, just trying to flatten out the terrain. Copper mine is kind of stalling because we're just not producing that much. We're not building that much that's using copper. See a little thing I got to get rid of here. A little interesting piece of texture that didn't get cleared off here. The little foundation texture. And then our ramp to the top, I stopped working on it. And instead prioritize flattening this area out. We'll maybe get back to this ramp soon. There is still a designation. One of the problems I've been having has to do with the pathing. See all of this material, all this path, this common path here? Some of that is from these trucks that are likely delivering diesel up to my fuel storage up here. Some of that path is from those guys. But some of this path that you see kind of carved into the grass here is my trucks have been having pathing issues. So I've been having trucks down here. Whoops, bear with me with the crazy camera work. These trucks that are supposed to be taking stone over to here or taking dirt to this fill area. These trucks occasionally find their way up on top of the mountain here, just piddling around. And then they eventually find their way back down the mountain. But man, does it consume the diesel? Look at that. That is a huge diversion from where they're supposed to be. And I'm not sure what's causing that. But that's what this little path worn in is. We may see that in this episode or another episode. I'm not sure what's causing it, but occasionally I'll see trucks go up there and it makes no sense. I took back the mining designation here for our ramp. I had it going all the way up to the surface. Thought, well, maybe they're thinking they can dump there or something, or that's somehow throwing them off. So I made it a little shorter, and the problem seems to have gone away, but I think that's more of a coincidence than anything else. Our main ramp is as it is. It stays. I brought down, I'm not sure if we saw this last episode or not, but I've got a belt now. This belt was here for a while, just precariously on the edge. In fact, you know what? I think there might be erosion in the game where things start to erode with the weather, because this guy is further off on the edge than it used to be, this belt of food. So I'll have to keep that in mind if that's a thing. Yeah, that could be problematic for us. Anyway, I've got a belt bringing food down. This is temporary until we flatten the island. But it makes for another inventory of like 811 food, and it just belts down in front of our civilization here. I've got a bunch of food storages, tons of food. We don't have to worry about food for a good long time, I don't think. And I've taken up a couple farms to free up space. We can now build here, and then I'll take up this farm probably at some point soon. We don't really need it. Might leave it there just if something unexpected happens with what's going on up here. I've got 4 farms working up here. They're producing way more food than we need. They're just level 2 irrigated farms. We don't have fertilizer going in here. We're not doing corn. We don't have greenhouses. But these guys are kicking out a ton of food. So I just put down some storages here to store it. And what we might do, you might say, well, why are you storing all that food? You're not going to have like 5,000 hungry people tomorrow. Why bother? The reason I'm storing it is, one, we can free up these workers whenever we need to. I can just take these guys off the farms and then go run our factory full speed. We get with unpause all these buildings, and we have just such a surplus of food, it won't matter. We don't need extra population to make it work. The other reason, though, is if we look at way down here on the bottom of the screen under waste management, that toolbar, we've got this anaerobic digester that will allow me to take food and convert it to a fuel gas, which I think we can run generators off of that. We'll check in a second. And it'll give me dirt. Or this digestate thing, which I'll have to look into that. But we can convert this food into other things. Dirt, we're obviously using dirt to create more farmland where we mined. We just saw that, right? That whole project down here. So we can always make use of dirt. And then the digestate, I'm not sure. Let me right click and see what that's all about. Digestate plus water gets us fertilizer. That I should probably be using like right now. That is a super easy recipe for fertilizer. Oh man. But then we have to burn off the fuel gas. That's the only thing. We have to find a way to use the fuel gas. But that is dead simple recipe for fertilizer. We may want to get to that at some point. It's not urgent. Like I said, we've got tons of food. More than we could ever use. But this is kind of an interesting option for us. And digestate plus sand gets us dirt. That's another option to make use of all the sand on the island. And digestate plus gravel gets us dirt. Oh, interesting. So again, this is not necessary, but if you did want to terraform your island and still have it look kind of pretty with grass and stuff, green, you could take your gravel and mix it with digestate and get some dirt out of it. A lot of electricity to do all that, but you'll see we're not going to have much problem with it. Anyway, so that's why I'm keeping the food stored up. Let's take a quick look at fuel gas, how we use that. Looks like we can, yeah, we can create high pressure steam with that, right? So we can run our turbines off of fuel gas and water. We'll dump off a little bit of carbon dioxide as pollution, but it's probably less pollution than our normal stuff. Although this exhaust can kind of be cleaned. Anyway. So yeah, one option, one thing we might do with that fuel gas is try and run our island entirely on like on green power. That's just to see if we could do it, right? I can turn food. All food takes is water and workers, really. I can turn that into fuel gas and run generators off it and get some dirt to boot from it. And as you can see from my inventory, 3,400 food. It's not hard to get a surplus. Anyway, that's what's going on with that. That's why those farms have all this storage here. I just added it. They're not full yet. Water storage here, we're probably going to augment that, make that a lot bigger. And then water collection here. Figure probably don't need to be running a pump. I got one just in case. But, ooh, let's see. This is still not full. It's mostly full. This particular array of water tanks starts down here, left bottom, loops up, comes back down, and then here's the output. So, got plenty. It's just about full. First tank is empty. The second tank is just about full or about to be full. So we'll add more here. Just free water without electricity, having to use electricity for it. Same situation over here. We've got a bunch of water tanks. These guys should be pretty good. And we've got a big water collection array here that's working. I've got pumps if I need them. I think they've been turned off for quite a while, so it's not really an issue. And then our power setup. I think the last episode we didn't have this second line really running efficiently. So I've got that set up now. We're running. I can show you what we do. We get what? Low pressure steam coming out of our high pressure turbines. That comes in here, goes into a pipe balancer where if there's excess, it gets spit out. But most of the low pressure steam goes to our low pressure turbine. I had this on auto balance. I've just turned it off recently. Because when I put it on auto balance, it's just the extra low pressure steam just goes out the ends up going out the smokestack. So I figured just let it run and generate power. You can see it's spinning up its whatchamacallit, these flywheels. They're maximum storage right now on power. We're not running much in the factory, so there's just a bunch of surplus power. In fact, I could turn off a couple of these generators for a while. And then we might make use of some of this power that's just being kind of wasted. If I turn off two of these guys should start spinning up. And we'll actually make use of the power that's being generated. Be able to take one more down. We're really not using much power on the island right now. That should cause these guys to spin a little faster. But that's that, and this top line is just extra. I have not had to run this thing, except maybe once. If I had a problem down here or something, I'll kick this one on. But man, it's we do not have power issues. Okay, now these three are starting to spin. I think we'll be okay. If not, we can kick these guys back on. But that may end up saving us a little bit of coal. Coal mine's doing fine. Got plenty. Got 2 excavators up here now. The dump, I should make the dump. Make sure the dump is, yeah, they got tons of room to dump. You can see how they've done so far. Been dumping the whatever rock and stuff off to the side here. I could level that off. I guess I don't need to. Eventually we're going to dig this down. In theory, we would dig this out down to 1 or +2 above sea level and flatten this whole area. But man, I don't even know if it's possible time-wise. All right, what else can I show you about the island that you don't know already? Not too much different here. I think you've seen all of this. Not too much changed in this whole area. Just ran a pipe for the acid over to the copper production. Cement has been kind of redone. Concrete, rather. In fact, I can pause this. This is my stone crusher. We've got 2 loose storages full of gravel. Got 3 storages full of concrete slabs, and then another one over here. I put this one over here just in case these are inaccessible by trucks. I wasn't sure. I just ran a belt out, and that should be accessible. This is our wood coming in full. That feeds construction part 1s. And I think that's where else does it do it? Yeah, these are construction part 1s. This is storage for construction part 1s. Looks like I could fire these guys up, or at least one of these guys. Let's do that. Excuse me. And replenish our inventory. That looks like that's running low. These are all construction part 1s, and then this is our factory making construction part 2s. That and a couple storages for those. That's mostly full. We'll get some of these and do more. I'll leave that turned on. And that's it. Water for our cooled casters. This should be full. Yeah, these are all full. And construction part 3s are actually down here. These guys. And they are also, we've got storage, 2 storages for that. They're full. I've got steel production over here. I've got 1 line running, 1 line kind of turned off because we just don't need it. And I got a bunch of storage on this. I have 2 legacy storages full. And then I've got this finally belted up to where we're doing the maintenance. And then I've got another little fork here of storage for steel. We use this sometimes to repair the ship. I've got storage there that's accessible by truck. And what else was I going to say about that? Oh, yeah, because I didn't want this to ever get starved out. This is like in line with where it's being consumed. I wanted some storage off to the side that's not going to be taken from. Anyway. That is that. What else? Anything else in here? This is where they bring off the rock so we can turn it into gravel. I'm using just gravel for my cement production. I could use slag, but then things can back up if you're not watching the flow. With the rock, I mean, it goes pretty far. The gravel lasts a pretty long time when you're creating the concrete. In fact, concrete is already full just from us running it this episode and backed up. And we didn't even use much at all. How's that possible? I don't know, but it's full, so I'm going to pause it. That is that. What else? What else? What else? Nothing new up there. This is our original diesel production. I've got it just sitting here for emergencies. I don't think we'll need it. But we've still got 26,000 units of crude oil underground on the island. I said, I don't think we'll need to use it. Anything else up here? No, we saw not much going on up in the top tier other than our power generation, and water collection, and then those farms. We saw all that. The project I'm working on, oh, Tech Tree. Let's talk about Tech Tree real quick. Tech Tree, I got everything researched that I can research until we upgrade to Tech Tree 4, I believe it is. So storage is 2. I'm bummed that this isn't in the beta. It would save some space, and I'd love to be upgrading all of these storages right now. But it is what it is. We don't have it. Research Lab 4, I've got it unlocked. And there's some more research here that is blocked on Research Lab 4. In fact, there's, I don't know, about a dozen, 2 dozen? Yeah, maybe 2. These in the game? Yeah. About, yeah, I'd say, I don't know, close to 2 dozen, somewhere around there. Researches that we have left to do, but I can't do them until we get the Research Lab 4. Research Lab 4, if we look at the upgrade, it takes glass. That's what we need. So I just started working on glass. And that's where we can kind of pick things up here for the last few minutes of this episode. And then we'll maybe do some work next episode to get this going. Oh, last thing. Sorry. One last thing. I got wastewater treatment. Oop, looks like my power plan kind of messed that up by shutting down things. Let's fix the power real quick. Put ourselves in a deficit here. Let's 2 of those back on. We'll leave one of them off. Should recover here pretty quick. I think it will recover pretty quick. Let's just see. We'll keep an eye on it. Let me show you the other thing that's new on the island. That's wastewater treatment. Here is our colony. And here is where the wastewater is being generated. Move this out of the way. There's our wastewater. I think this is telling me we get 32 a month, right? Or 32 wastewaters a month or something. Gotta think that's what this is telling me. So we used to just dump that right out into the water for the fish. They tend to like it. But now we are routing it. So boy, it's hard to see. Take my word for it. Wastewater comes out of here down this pipe. Goes into a pipe balancer. I think I have this set. Prioritize X. Yep. X is a pipe that takes it to treatment. O is a pipe that takes it where it used to go, into this tank and then out into the ocean. So the wastewater that gets piped for treatment, here it is. There's some moving through the pipe right now. This pipe kind of snakes its way around into the currently power-starved wastewater treatment plant. And that is where it's happening. So this one takes seawater to produce... Ooh. Wait a minute. Why are both recipes selected here? It doesn't really matter. I'm only sending in high-pressure steam. So this guy takes seawater with some steam, gives me water, and gives me brine. The water goes up this pipe and into kind of just our general water supply. It's not backed up, so that's a good sign. If it does back up, if the water on the island, it's mostly these tanks on this network. Water network is mostly just these tanks. If this backs up, then that wastewater is not going to get processed and it's going to get dumped into the sea, most likely, is what's going to happen. So it's not the end of the world, but that could happen. But this guy gets us the brine. That's what we're after. We feed the brine into this electrolyzer. That is a 1-to-1 for chlorine gas. That's super easy recipe. No byproducts to deal with. Nice and easy. Chlorine comes into this big machine. This is the wastewater treatment facility. Chlorine comes in. We bring some sand in. That is here. I can see I need to mine some sand soon because I'm out. So I got to mine some sand. And along with the wastewater that's piped in, I think it's this pipe here. Wastewater coming in. Boom. We may actually see it. Is there, are we close? 34, 35. We can see the animation. It's kind of interesting. You look close here. It's kind of gross, actually, but here comes the waste. A big batch of waste in there from our community. It gets covered up, and then looks like the dirt gets pushed through a chute here. We'll let this animation run, and then we should see that dirt slide its way on our conveyor system here. This is opened up now and ready for more. Here comes our dirt. That goes into a loose storage that's set to empty. And then the dirt, I have a similar project here, or did. Looks like they filled it up already. That is all fill. And hopefully that will turn green. I think it will. Even if it doesn't, I don't know. It looks a little better to me than all this rock everywhere, because we're going to have plenty of that. But yeah, so they've been filling here. I need to carve out a little slice here for them to have more room to fill. Or we can just dump the dirt. The dirt can still be dumped over here too. It's not the end of the world. I could try and change this site, but it's a little, we'll see on the coasts if we manage dirt or not. But that's it. Yeah, that's the wastewater treatment. We noticed that I needed to mine sand. I don't have a dedicated excavator doing sand, so I keep moving this guy around, basically. Let's do it. Let's move his area here. He can grab some sand, fill all that up for us. Could probably clean up some of these designations. This is fine. Done, I think. Row's done for sure. This stuff can maybe go. And then again, when you reassign an excavator, you'll notice I changed the area. Here's the mine tower way at the top of the screen. He's supposed to be working over here. And let's see. Is he going to change? Okay, he changed. Sometimes they'll keep scooping. I don't know if they're trying to finish the square they're on, and if there's a landslide, they'll just keep scooping. But if they don't move immediately, you can always just hit the pause button on them and then unpause, and they seem to switch over pretty much immediately if you've changed their mining designation. So that's a tip on that. He's going to mine some sand. He's got 3 things to fill up here and more to fill up over here. Then that sand is also being trucked over to our cement factory over here. I've got 4 storages for sand here. These guys look like they're in pretty good shape, though. All right, we'll probably wrap this episode here, but when we come back next episode, we are going to work on glass. Glass is what we need to upgrade to the next research. There's some important research in the research tree for us, particularly we've got upgraded ship weapons and upgraded ship armor. That's going to be important for us because on the map, we are hitting some more difficult enemies here. You can see when we click on these nodes way out on the outskirts, we've got 1 ship with 400 battle score, 2 ships with 180. That's not too bad. 2 ships with 430 battle score. You get where I'm going. There's just there's some bad guys out here. 470, and I've had my butt handed to me on a platter. There's more places to explore here too. But it'd be good to get that upgraded weaponry and shielding armor before we head out and get more of this stuff. But you can see the other thing I guess I didn't talk about real quick before we go. We have a quartz mine here. I think this is going to be involved in the production of electronics. A single shift takes 25 workers, but I have their inventory full, just waiting to be picked up. We got to find a use for it first before I bring it on the island. I know there's something coming. Then I think if you look at the top, it says 4 out of 5 ships. Number of ships available repaired versus the number of ships discovered. So I've got another ship out there I think that I need to repair. And it might be this guy. Well, I'm not sure where it is. We'll have to look around. But there's more ships to get. There's one here, damaged cargo ship. There's one down here, damaged cargo ship. There's another one over here. Damaged cargo ship. There's also more oil mines too. I thought there's one I didn't get yet. There's another town we haven't done. And yeah, there's an offshore oil rig there. And I thought there was two. Yeah, another offshore oil rig here. So we could really scale up. Right now, we don't really need to do it. I mean, we're pretty much, I mean, to be honest, we're pretty much in the clear. Hope, you know, maybe I'll jinx it and we'll add some drama. But we're pretty much in the clear. Now it's just a matter of working our way through the tech tree and then seeing if I can get more efficient at terraforming and flattening this land. Right now, what I've got is kind of ad hoc. It's not terribly organized. We're clearing land. We're obviously expanding the island, but it could be way more efficient. So that's what I intend to do. Get through the tech tree, explore the map, and get more efficient on the terraforming. Plus, we got the nuclear power I want to try out too. Anyway, for now, that's a lot of talking, but now you're up to speed. Next episode, we will do some building and get producing glass. We'll see how much we need to scale up. We're probably going to do it right on this platform. And then we need to add some more cargo depots too. So we'll try and leave room. I don't know if I have room here or not. We'll take care of it down the road. For now, this is Glidercat saying thanks so much for watching. Special thanks to channel members and patrons. Really appreciate your contributions. And thanks to everybody who's been giving the videos a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next episode.